Hello and welcome to PowerDrift. It's an extremely rainy day in Pune today and I am circling my umbrella while we are talking about the brand new Pulsar N160. This is the second most Pulsar to come from the new platform. The Pulsar 150's replacement will be the most important one. It does look familiar because it shares a lot of stuff with the N250. We'll talk about that. It's got a brand new engine and it's got more or less the same pricing as the RTR 164V. We'll talk about that as well in this video. We've ridden the motorcycle quite a bit in the rain today. We have a fair idea of what it promises to bring you, so stay tuned and watch till the end. Before we begin, there's 3 or 4 things that we like you to do for us. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't, the bell notification icon so that videos like this reach you natively. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. And of course, if any of your friends or you are considering a 160cc class motorcycle, you should not be thinking about it without considering that. So let's get straight into it.
Today's motorcycle technology is required to deliver more in tough operating conditions, be it high power density or low emissions. The role of engine oil is pivotal in ensuring the bike's performance. ELF, with over 50 years of extensive motorsports experience, delivers intelligent formulations that sustain optimal efficiency and performance of the most advanced bike engines. We recommend ELF, an advanced range of engine oils that lock in the protection for enhanced performance of your bike.
I've been told not to spin the umbrella, so I'm now going to stop. The story of the N160 begins from the new platform that Bajaj first showed us with the N250 and the F250. That motorcycle looks super familiar because that's exactly what the N250 Black Edition shows you. That's the motorcycle with the dual channel ABS. The N160, it also has dual channel ABS. It's kind of ironic because it was Bajaj who started the single channel ABS ball rolling, and now they are the ones bringing dual channel ABS as standard to this segment, although there is a slightly lower spec single channel ABS version of this motorcycle as well. The bodywork, it's exactly the same as the N250 down to the stickering, so the only thing that has changed on that front is the N160 sticker at the back of the motorcycle. What it also shares with the N250 is the frame itself. So the suspension, the tuning of the suspension, the ABS, the calibration of the ABS, wheels, tires, even the 320mm front disc, they're all exactly the same as the N250. Now you might consider that being a sign that this motorcycle is heavier than the competition. And honestly, it is about 6 kilos heavier with various components adding weight, although the engine itself is lighter. But what is new is the engine, and there's a lot of stuff to talk about in there because this is the second family of the new platform that we are seeing. So the first family, the 250s, they are over square engines. This 160 is a long stroke engine, and I'm told this is the top of the line for the second family of engines, which means that the other engines will probably be smaller in size. If Bajaj's history is a guide, down to 125cc. What they've done with this engine is tune it for torque. 85% of the torque is available from as low as 3000 RPM to as high as 8000 RPM. And that actually works on the street. So this is a motorcycle where I found myself in 4th or 5th gear constantly without realizing how high up I was in the gears. The flow of torque is so slick that you keep upshifting much earlier than you normally might without affecting your forward progress. In the same vein, they've also worked very heavily on the refinement of this motorcycle. So while you do hear the motorcycle, that's what it's designed to let you do. There's no real vibration or harshness to complain about. And in that sense, it's a really tightly controlled motorcycle. Add that to a light shifting gearbox, a super light clutch. This is actually a really pleasant 160 ride. And it's not really slow, although it does feel a little bit calm and civil. And I almost wish that it was a little bit more energetic than that. On the other side, the fact that the chassis spec is the N250 spec does a great world of good for the handling and feeling of this motorcycle, because even in the rain, it's super grippy, super confident. You can push it quite hard in the rain and still come away feeling like, there was more left on the motorcycle that you could have extracted if you really wanted to. The weak part is the ride quality, which is actually of a very high order on its own, but there's a slight mismatch between the softness of the front, which is very supple and agile, it's very absorptive, and the slight stiffness of the rear, so you will feel like the rear sort of pushing you out of the seat over the bumps. It's not a deal breaker to me, but it is something that Bajaj could look at and tune further. The brakes, the bite is quite weak, but there's a lot of power available after that. In the rain, I didn't mind it. I don't know that in the dry riding hard, how I'll feel about the brakes, but there's certainly no lack of power when you really get on the levers. Overall, It's a really nice spec, and Bajaj are still not doing the Bluetooth game, but on all other fronts they have you covered. So in terms of spec, you get the projector headlamp, you get the LED DRLs, then the DRLs come with two settings: a bright setting where the lamp is off if you'd like to run it like a proper DRL, or if you switch the headlight on in the day, then the LEDs become a little bit dimmer so that it's not too bright a console. We know from the N250 experience that these motorcycles tend to be extremely comfortable, supple and helpful motorcycles, and from the little that we've been able to push it in the rain, that's the feeling I'm getting from this as well. This is an extremely impressive Pulsars. I might actually go as far as to say this is one of the best Pulsars overall in terms of what it's designed to do and what it plans to do and what it delivers to you. How does it compare against the RTR 160? We'll have to wait for those two motorcycles to come back to PowerDrift for us to put this to a proper road test and then tell you that story. But in pricing terms, there's really no difference. And if you take the single channel version of this motorcycle, obviously that's even better value. And I, for one, have not been this excited about a Pulsar 160 in a long time, because that is a tremendous job done. What did you think about this motorcycle? And the question I want to ask you specifically is that today Bajaj is doing the same thing they did with the first Pulsar 150 and 180, which is to keep styling elements very, very common between two different displacement classes. This time they've done it from a 160 to a 250. What do you think about that? Do you think that's a pro or do you think that's a con? Leave us a comment. If there's any more questions, that's all you actually have to do. Leave us a comment and we'll get the answers to you as fast as possible. Thank you so much for watching. This is PowerDrift. That's the Pulsar N160. 4 things for you: subscribe, the bell notification icon, give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and please do show this video to your friends. As to the rain gods, thank you so much for making this shoot so sweet, simple and wet.